Hi guys, welcome to my channel Connect to Science and I'm Ananya. So let's see what's the new and interesting topic today. So the new and interesting topic today is germination. Oh wow, it's really a very interesting topic because as the plant grows, we are also growing, so we should also know about how the plant is growing, right? So let's see how the germination process goes. Now, process of germination. When we are talking about process of germination, so first we are sowing a seed. So the first level is seed. The second level we are having a small root. Then the third level is a small plant, and then the fourth level is the tree. After the four levels, we are getting a tree. What is germination? Seed germination may be defined as a fundamental process by which different plant species grow from a single seed into a plant. This process influences both crop yield and quality. A common example of seed germination is the sprouting of a seedling from a common seed of an angiosperm or a gymnosperm. So here we can see the seed germination. It can be defined as a fundamental process by which different plant species grow from a single seed into a plant. This process is influencing both crop yield and quality. So the germination is defined as a fundamental process because it is growing the plant species, and when we are sowing a seed we are having a plant. Then if we are having a tree, then tree has the flowers, then again we are having a seed. This is the germination cycle. A common example of a seed germination is the sprouting of a seedling from a seed of angiosperm or gymnosperm. And we all have eaten gymnosperm and angiosperm or angiosperm in our breakfast. So in some of them there's a white colored small sprouts. So if we, because it is being in water from some hours, that is why it is having a small root type structure. If we are going to sow that in the seed, we after 1 week or after 5 to 6 days we are going to have a small plant. Here we have the process of germination. As I told that first we have a seed, then a small root, then the root started growing, then the embryo comes out, and then we are having a small plant, then the plant started to grow, and after some time we are having a tree. This is what is germination. Now we know that what is germination, but now the question is, after germination, what are the main parts of the plant? After germination, the main parts of the plants are flower, leaves, roots, stem. They are the main parts that help the plant grow. Now, if we are not having the flower, the reproductive part is not there. Flower is the reproductive part. Leaves have the chlorophyll that are able to make fruit. Roots help the plant get minerals and water from the soil, and stem is supplying the minerals and water coming from the roots to leaves and other parts of the plant. Modification. Modification is the change in some plants like cactus. Stem and leaves both can modify them. When stem is modified, it is known as stem modification, and when leaves are modified, it is known as leaf modification. Now, the modification are some extra features. So, they are the main features like stem. Main feature of the stem is to supply minerals and waters coming from the roots and coming from the soil. This is the main feature. But like in cactus, stem is modified, so there are no leaves, so it can make food for the whole cactus. That is why it is having no loss of water, because it does not have leaves. So leaf and stem both have modified them in the plant of the cactus. There are many plants like this, so let's read some examples. Stem modification. When stem is modified, it is known as stem modification. In some plant, it is important to have modification for their growth. For example, stem tendrils. Stem tendrils are the small thread-like structures that come out from the stem to hold something and make plant upright. So, in the pea, if you have seen in the pea, there are some thread-like structures that coming out from the stem to make that plant upright. And stems are modified to fruits and vegetables also. In some plants, extra food is stored in stem. They are converted into fruits or vegetables. Like we have our onion. So onion is also a modified structure. The stem is modified to onion. Leaf modification. When leaf is modified, it is known as leaf modification. In some plants, it is important to have the modification for their growth. So in some plants, it's very important to have modification for their growth. There are some, but not all, because some plants have different structures like cactus, and because of their habitat, some problems they have. So that is why leaves and stems are modified, because they can help them for their growth. Spines in cactus, as I told you before also. In cactus, in the place of leaves, there are spines. In cactus plants, leaves modify them to spines to reduce loss of water, as leaves loses water through the process of transpiration. So here it is told that the leaves, as we have read in the book also, that the leaves loses water from the process of transpiration. In cactus, in the place of leaves, there are spines, and the stem is so thick and fleshy and so green, so it can make the plant food for the whole plant. That is why it do not loses water and can store water for longer periods. Now it's time for pollination. What is pollination? Pollination is the act of transferring pollen grains from the male anther of the flower to the female stigma. The goal of every living generation, one of the ways that plant can produce offspring by making seeds. Now, pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. It's very important to go the pollen grains from anther to stigma, because it is very important to reproduce them again and again. If the plant has the pollen grains of them to the stigma of that plant only, so it is known as self-pollination. And if the pollen grains falls on another plant, is known as cross-pollination. Here we have a picture of pollination. Here, from a pollination, the insect suck the nectar, and when they sit, the pollen grains are stuck on them. When it sticks on the stigma, so the pollen grains are left there, and then the pollen grains are transferred to the stigma. This process is known as pollination. After the pollination process, the leaf and all the sepals and petals are fall down of a flower, and then the ovary and the ovule are converted into a fruit. Thank you so much for watching and listening my presentation. Thank you.